Good afternoon, καλησπέρα σας. This is Colon calling. I want to thank all the sponsors for making this event possible, for all of us as speakers, and particularly for you, the participants. So, I'm Elias Markelis, and this is the Collaboration Power Hour. We're going to discuss about collaboration in the system. So, who am I? I'm Elias. I'm from Thessaloniki, and I'm living in Cologne. I have moved here some years ago. As a trainer, I'm delivering trainings for CPLS, and as a collaboration architect, I'm working with the business people to help them implement functional solutions, small solutions that they're helping them. So what about collaboration? What is that? It's not only the DMS, document management system. It's not only the content management we're doing. It's nice if I call a colleague of mine, I'm collaborating with him when I'm calling him or when I'm doing a video conference or I'm having coffee with him. Yes, this is a collaboration. But also collaboration is all the data that is gathered daily, all the actions that we're doing, all the input, all the documents that we're producing, all this amount of stuff that we need somehow to gather it in a single space and travel it through different systems and make it available to people so we'll be able to understand what's happening. So collaboration actually is all the things that we're doing daily, and it's all of the above in this list also. So this is a small disclaimer that this is a 45-minute session, not an hour, as we believe that the demos are not deep dive technical ones, but everyone will be able to take something when we finish with this session. Details for the demos will probably be released as videos, so follow me on Twitter and LinkedIn. I will announce it there. So what are we going to see? How are we going to provide solutions to daily business questions that I'm getting normally in the last years, and specifically now that with the COVID, that everybody is away, and how can we cover them, or how can we fit everything in 45 minutes, which is also a fit, if we can try to make it happen. So we need the space to keep our files and collaborate. Okay, this is easy. We will try to build a SharePoint team site in this case. So let's see how this is going to happen. So let's start with creating a team site. By creating a team site, it means that we're going to provide a space for all the sales team to collaborate. So we need to have a site name, which is available. Now, the good thing is that with SharePoint Online SharePoint 2019, even if you put a space in the site name, this will be removed from the actual link in the end. As you can see here, it says that it's going to be /power without any other additions there. It's going to be a private, only the members will be able to access this site. We're setting the time zone, and it's good to set a description and storage limits so that we will not leave our users to go crazy on that stuff. So let's go next. And we can also add additional owners or members to the site during the creation of the site. If we have an AD group, we can add the whole AD group there. The site is created very fast, actually. So it's ready. And we can just navigate to the site. It's a modern team site, and it's perfect for what we want to do here. So the next thing is we want to have a communication channel with my team and an easy way to meet with them. Well, I believe this is going to be the easiest of all because video conferencing calls, let's create a team site and let's take some action for it. Well, as the team site is heavily binded with Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Teams with the team site, it's easy to create the teams directly from the site. This is the actual time it takes to create a team, and you just click it and the team site is ready, and we're ready to go. The first time it will ask us to open the application, but this is something normal. So let's move on to the next part of our quest with the users. We want to be able to view and manipulate the list of customers without the need of accessing the ERP client. This is something that in the past it was very often asked by. Now that the clients are becoming better and better, they're asking a little bit less. There are a lot of solutions doing that. So in this case, we're going to go with an oldie but goldie because we're forgetting that it still exists. There is the business connectivity services, and we can use them in combination also with another service that we're forgetting is there, which is the secure store service. We can store credentials for accessing services or other databases. So let's see how we're going to take an action for this thing. So here we are. Now, business connectivity services had SharePoint Designer initially for creating easy models, but you can create models with Visual Studio, or you can create models with third-party tools. Now, in my case, I have used the SharePoint Designer 2013 to show you very fast how you can create an extra business data connectivity model for the products, just to show you how this is done, that I can easily select, connect, and use these things. Keep in mind that when we're using stuff like that, we will need to use two services in SharePoint. One is the business connectivity services, the other is normally the secure store service, where we're storing the credentials of the user that's going to access the database if we don't have set up configuration that allows the actual users to to pass the credentials of the actual users directly to the database. Now, what happened here is I just created a crude list, which means that I can create, read, update, and delete the products. I have done the same thing for the customers. This is something that a lot of people have forget that exists because of the new stuff like Power Apps, Power Automate, Power BI, and all the Power Platform in general, and all the other offerings that are coming from third-party providers. But this is still one of the nicest features of SharePoint. If you need to provide some group of people access directly to some database for CRUD operations, and you need to do it very fast. So also creating a relationship. Keep in mind where we are creating relationships. The first map identifier we're binding is the map identifier for the foreign key. So in this case, I have binded the category ID because this is the foreign key, and whatever you can do here, you can just create lists and forms. Another tip and trick here is in order to use SharePoint Designer 2013, because it is currently not supported by Microsoft, you need to have a classic site created behind the scenes. And you can do that either locally or online, depending what you have in offer. But as soon as you created the business data connectivity model, then you can import, export, and upload it in SharePoint. But still, as I told you, there are a lot of if you don't want to use Visual Studio and you don't have developers in your team, there are a lot of third-party tools that you can buy and use in order to create business data connectivity models. And these are our customers now, which are live on this site. So what is happening here? We have a live list of customers. You see that this is the read list, the SPX, that is created automatically. This is why it has this space still from the old time that when we added spaces that we're getting the percentage 20 for the space. And let's see how this list is working. And also, yeah, don't forget, if I want to add an external data in my stuff, I will need to add it as an app, not as a list. So if I look for external list, I can go to the external list and select the list I want to select. And this for me is products, and I would select also the appropriate content type from the content type picker. Everything is ready. Let's create the list. Let's wait for this to be created. It's very fast, the creation actually. And let's go back to the customers and check this functionality that we said that we can change something. So what's going to happen here? I'm going to change this company name from Suite Company to Suite Store. I'm going to save it, and I'm expecting that this change is going to be saved directly into my SQL server. Don't worry about the style. I'm not doing normal, but this is for the for this demo, for the versions of the demo, it's easier to do it. So you see that the company name changed here already to Switch Store, and this is something very important for us, which means that we have an option to do create, update, or delete. So let's set the postal code from 54641 to 54642, and let's see that this is working also vice versa. That is bidirectional, which means that we have already saved it on the other side. So let's view the item, and we can see here that the postal code changed according to what we did. So we have a sales team which is highly mobile. Actually, they're never at the office, and they're salesmen. Why should be at the office? So they want us to be able to provide them with access to the customer's min data. So they don't want the full data; they just want the contact of the customer. So let's see how we're going to take a nice action for that too. So now let's move on to the nice fancy stuff. Well, call me Power Apps. This is another offering, similar but not the same. It has the same base that I can create very fast by selecting the customers and the connection, a crude mobile application that can run in any device. The difference between them is that this one is not free. You need to pay a little bit premium. In the previous service that we've seen, it was free in the offering of SharePoint. But let's do some modification because the Power Apps are actually very useful and you get a lot of things. And if you have a mobile workforce, then it's something of the most useful things you can do. So I'm doing here some beautifications, like I don't want to say DBO dot customers. That doesn't mean nothing to use, but if you see another customer details, then it will be nice for him. And also in the edit view, where actually this form is used also for editing for two purposes. The one is for editing, the other purpose is for adding a new uh, customer if we want to add a new customer. So if we have a mobile workforce and the mobile workforce can prospect new customers, probably they can add them directly from their mobile phone. Also, since I'm going to use it with a mobile phone, it will be nice if when I'm looking at the customer details, because I can use that as a directory for my business contacts if need be, then it will be nice to be able to call him directly from here to place a call to the customer and discuss with him if he needs something or if I want to uh, make him a new offer. This is very easy though to do it. You just need to use the the launch function. In the launch function, instead of we need to call the telephone, and we're just doing from the browse gallery. The browse gallery, the selected item, the phone. Now the thing with the browse gallery is that the browse gallery contains the whole data set. It's like our entity. In the terms of Power Apps, we can find everything. So let's save our uh, application. It's a good thing to remember that when we're saving applications, uh, if you have a team that creates icons for you, it will be even nicer. But in any case, do not forget to add a description, because if you have users starting getting more and more applications, then because this application normally are functional, doing a single function or some small things, it will be easier for them if they can understand what this application was intended to be used with. Uh, Moving forward on that, we're going to have to save it now, and during the save, we're also going to have the setting function. Here it gives you a list of the applications to make sure that the name is compatible with what we're using. And during the saving function, it's also going to give you the option to share it. So you can share it with groups, with people, inside your organization, inside your organization, with specific people. And every time you are using something which is external and you are sharing that with the rest of the people, it will ask you for your confirmation. So I've loaded on my test device this application, and now I'm working from my device. You can see that I can place a call. It opens up and says how you're going to call with Jabber, with phone, or with Skype. So let's move on. So next thing, we know that our salespeople are a mobile team, and they like to do things from their mobile phones. Fine. So they want also to be able to access products main data. So why not creating another Power App? And they want to see some dashboards for sales, things like that. Probably someone has made something in Power BI, what not will leverage that and present it in Teams. So let's see what action we're going to take. So we did it once with the customers. We're not doing it again with the products. But this time, instead of having a flat application which has just a single table, let's produce something which is master detail, where the master is the categories and the detail are the actual products. So what is happening here, I have already created an app, and for making my life easier, I have changed the default names, like to categories screen to have the categories. And what I wanted to do is like make sure that when I'm selecting this item, I'm going to move to the new screen I have procured. This is the navigation to the products screen, which is the product list. And none means that there will be no transition, it will just flip from one page to the other. Now, here you see it doesn't say products list, but it says beverages to remind you that you have selected the beverages, and this happened easily by changing the text or dynamic text that says from the categories, which is my gallery. I changed the name to categories. From the selected item, I want to get the category name. On the other side, when I'm moving, before moving away from that, I'm filtering the list now. I'm not just getting all the products, but for the category ID, I'm getting the selected categories item ID. So it's filtering every time the list according to what category I have selected. And then on the product details, I'm navigating to the product details on the form view. It's very easy. Just created a form view. And on the advanced tab, we're just going to say that it's like products, the selected product, so the one that I have selected. And this one runs fairly nice on the mobile devices, which is real nice. So when I'm away and I'm on the road, I'm just using my mobile device. I can see all the products. I can see the units in stock. I can see the current price. If I'm discussing with a customer and I want to make sure that I'm not telling him anything that's not standing, I can just click on my mobile, say, wait a minute, we're talking about this product. I will see to it and I will tell you what is happening. But this is very helpful for the users, and they feel that they're constantly connected with the company, and all the information, or all the data they have is flowing to them, and they're becoming information actually for them. And this is a fully functional application on a mobile device. And I haven't spent more than 5 minutes building it actually. It's more difficult to decide how we're going to define the functionality on paper and then than to build the actual application. And of course, we're going to do some extra things, then you maybe need a developer, someone who knows. But on the other hand, when people saw it, they say, okay, this is nice on the mobile, but we have also team side. Can you do something for the teams? So we did something similar, like we have a list with the beverages, then we're changing every time we're selecting a new item, then we see the item, and we have a small pie down there that shows how the distribution of sales goes for our categories, because we have the space to do it. So we do that as a tablet application. Now, and that engages even more the users and explains that, shows that we can go for each environment. So this is another power up actually. The PhD products like tea for teams, it's nice. So we have the beverages, and we're following the same thing. So whenever I'm selecting something, I'm moving to the next one and I say, okay, I have selected something and I want to filter the categories. It's the same thing. I'm filtering according to the category ID, the products, and then for the form view on the left side, I'm just looking the product viewer, and it's just the products and doing the advanced tab against the selected item. It is fairly easy and to happen. So next task. Since we are here, let's see if someone has procured any Power BI dashboards or reports for the sales, and we found out that someone has done something for them. So, which is the easiest thing? Bring it also inside Teams. Have it in a single place. People love to see the things like that. So if you have some users that are nice enough to create them, you are procuring the datasets and they can produce and procure the reports, then we will be very happy to pick up whatever they did. These are our best adopters in that case. So in the spirit of collaboration, we're just going to pull it up and put it inside the teams. So someone added someone in the system. Can my team learn about it? Well, we have teams, we have Power Automate. Let's take some action. Go. So how is it to achieve that and keep our sales team updated every time they have a new customer added in the system? So let's go here. We're thinking about this is happening on the SQL side. So I want to check something from SQL. On my left side, I will have SQL. On the right side, I should have Teams, which means I want to post a message to Microsoft Teams when an item is ordered, is created in SQL Server. So remember, when we do that, we have the Teams in our mobile device. We will get a message. Oops, someone posted something in this channel, and we will get a message, a notification. So it's easy. We're going to use the connection. So we're going to use the table. If we don't see the table there, you can set enter custom value. So you can write the name. The name is customers, and when we're posting a message, we need some simple things. We need to find the team, and then the channel in the team that we want to post it. Then we can write the message. The message can contain dynamic content, which means that a new customer, let's get the company name, where, in a specific city, country, so everybody will know that we have a new customer in Southern Integration, or in Germany, Cologne, or in Athens, Georgia. You're on the other side, and that will make easier the communication between salespeople and people that are actually getting prospects, because sometimes we have salesmen on the road and we have people that are just calling all the stuff. So let's save it and test it. Keep in mind, because we may have a lot of flows or a lot of Power Automations that are going to run there, have some meaningful names. Don't forget that. Like automation 1, automation 2, automation 3 is not going to help in the end. So let's see how this is going to work. We're going to go to customers. So we're going to add as a customer the IT Product connections. I think this is a good change, that it's going to work fairly nice. So it's loading the list. We're going to add a new item. We don't have to do a lot of things here. We're adding just the item. We're just setting the customer ID and the rest of the data that we need for this one. It's very nice. When we have pre-recorded things, you can have magically appearing all the text that you want to add. So let's save it. This perfect is very fast in saving. Now let's go back to select the company name, and let's see that the company is here, that we have saved it, and we can pick it up. If we find the company, probably will be somewhere here. The IT Protect connections is fine. If we see what we have done here, it's as is. It's perfect. So it's here. Now the next thing is, do we have it in Teams? We may have it or we may not have it. Now it has to do with our automation has already executed, probably has not been executed. So what can we do? We can go and test it. We can run a test at least to see if it's running. Automations, as Power Automation are not running constantly, especially if we're discussing that we're connected to third-party systems. They're going to run on an interval. We can use the peak to see the code inside the peak to check which is the interval. In my case, this one is like 5 minutes interval. So even if we go more or less, it's 5 minutes, it's less from the time I have added my actual record. So I don't have when it was built. So I don't want to wait for 5 minutes. What I'm going to do, first of all, I can check if I have running instances of not, if I have successes or not. I can go and run a test. So in order to run a test, I will need to go back to edit and just click the test button. And there I can say that either I will perform the trigger action that works sometimes if you're working with third-party services, or just take some data you find from SQL Server. Probably we'll see that we have a new item there. Now, because I have triggered it, it will say that I have posted it in the Teams chat. And let's see, here it is. It says that the new customer ID for the connection in Athens, Greece. That's perfect. We're getting the message. So every time we have a new customer, we're going to get also a new message coming back to us if we are part of the sales team. So as a sales team, we have a lot of people traveling, and we have a lot of travel requests, and we need to manage them easily. So for me, this is a good opportunity to use lists and use one of the templates, the travel request template. So let's take an action on that. So let's create this list, the travel request list. Now, there is a new offering called lists, and these are offering some templates. They are modern lists. And while we're creating a list from a template, we're getting also some perks with it, which means some functionalities that they are really nice and helpful. So let's use this template and let's see how the list looks like. So it's a list for travel requests, and we already have two travel requests. Let's create a new one. Let's create a new travel request for Cologne. There should be a reason for the traveling. We have the destination there, we have the request. Let's start from the reason for travel. We have a business reason. We want to go there for business. Yeah, I think it's good. Let's go for business. So the destination. You see that this point on top. Oh, yeah, let's start from the requester first. So let's go to the destination. And if we say Cologne, immediately says, okay, you're going to go to North Rhine-Westphalia, Cologne. This is in Germany. Okay, let's pinpoint that. And this is one of the perks. Now, if you go to travel date and start date, these are normal. It's how we're expecting they are normal things. Now, on the airlines, they have already pre-filled some airlines. Now, since we are traveling to Germany, let's say that we're going to travel with Lufthansa, and we have the option to give the estimate fare. Now, this here says next to the estimate fare that this can be either dollars or euros. And this is because I don't know what we're going to use, but it says that this is a currency for us, actually. And then on hotel, let's say that we're going to travel to and stay probably, I think, if we say for Cologne, no, we will say again Cologne Cathedral, Cologne Marriott Hotel. It's going to start picking up places there. Or if I start writing a hotel name, it will say, oh yeah, I found a hotel name there. So let's say I'm going to say Hilton Cologne, it's in the center of Cologne. It's in a nice place. So, and there's also a number there, and that's fine. And as I told you, this one is really tight connected with the team site we have. Actually, the list, if we're going to go back to our team site, we're going to see that the list is stored there. So, though that the information is mainly manipulated via the team site, because the users know the team site, if we want to share this information with people outside of our team that they have access to that team, we can go and check the site contents, and then in the site contents we will find out that there is also a list, a normal list of SharePoint with a travel request. Well, what we can do, we can go to the list settings and just say that we want also to see it on the navigation pane in the quick launch. And that also concludes this part. So we have already made the travel requests for the sales managers. So let's see what else they want to ask us. So social media has caught up with the company. So we need to see how we'll be able to gather some information from the social media for us. So let's see what action can we take with the offerings we have. So they want to gather the tweets. Let's say that we're going to save them in a list. So we're going to start from a blank list. We're going to name the list tweets. We'll give it a description. We'll let it show in the navigation pane. And we're going to create this list very fast. This is something normal. It's like working with the old SharePoint, with the old good SharePoint that we knew. This is the thing. Here for us, so we need multiple lines to have the tweet here. And then we're going to add also a column where we're going to keep the username, and we're going to use the title for the hashtag actually. So we're going to use it to keep the hashtag there. So we're going to change the name of the title to hashtag. So from the list settings, we're just going to go and click on the title, change the name to hashtag, and that's it. So what else we have to do here? We see that the list is in place. Now let's go to automate. And from automate, we can go to Power Automate. As normal, we can say, let's create a flow. And we're looking for a flow that starts with Twitter. Remember that I told you at some point that we will need developers. Twitter is offered here, but other services are not ready-made. So if you want to gather from other information from other media, from other social media, you will need to ask your developers to start building some things for you in order to use them. So here, what we see, which is the search text. So I'm going to search for the hashtag for IT Pro Dev Greece. We know which is the text. And let's start from that. It's hashtag IT Pro Dev Greece. Which is the site address that I'm going to use, which is the list name. Of course, the hashtag cannot be the tweet text. Then I will go from the dynamic content. You can see here in the dynamic content that it has all the fields of Twitter. I can grab fields like the Twitter text. It will go to the tweet, who tweeted it, who is the username, what is the screen name actually of the user, and I can see things like where was the location it was tweeted, the Twitter ID, description, if it was a retweet or not. It has a bunch of fields, so you can imagine when we're building something like that, probably want to analyze it a little bit more, or we can come back to our flow later if we have added extra fields to our list and to use them. We can also use expressions to do concatenation, stuff like that. Now in the hashtag, I will just set the hashtag on a standard hashtag just for the purpose of this demo, which is actually the IT Pro Dev. And the next thing we need to do is just save it. All good is to go from the flow checker every time to see if there are some errors or warnings, save it, and wait for it to be saved, take some time to evaluate. So our automation have been executed and is executing like in an interval, and we're gathering tweets. You can see them in this list, but just gathering the tweets doesn't say a lot of things in the sales team or the sales manager. Probably would like to see who is an influencer, who is tweeting more, who's getting the tweet. Anyway, with the data we have now in our hands, we can do a lot of things. But this is what I said, remember that. This is what is offered right now in Power Automation on tweets. For if you want to use, for example, Facebook, or if you want to use any other social media, LinkedIn, probably you would like LinkedIn, probably you would need to write your own version of it. But you can find other offerings like Slack, MailChimp, or a lot of them. Just go through the Power Automation and search which are the ready templates, and even if the template is not there, then you can create your own template. It's not very difficult. Hopefully, we're going to have a presentation about it at some point later this year or later the next year. Now, let's see the rest of it. The rest of it is that we can we can connect to this list to create a Power BI, and this is what we're going to see. I just created a very quick dashboard to see how many people have tweeted something about IT Pro Dev. So here we are. Let's see what we have done. Let's see the tweets. So there's some tweets. I found that 76 posts. I can see the users that how many of them did what. So the IT Pro Dev, Maria_7, and we can see also what they have tweeted about. It's very nice. It's very clean, quick. Of course, it's not to gain Nobel Prize on data analytics, but it's for the purpose of the demo. We can see that we can connect to the list and grab data very easily. So let's move to our next task. So our company has implemented a back office system for service requests. We would like as a sales team to be aware of them. So we want to see how we can solve it. On our side, we want to provide a solution for the salespeople to understand. So let's see what actions we can take to solve these issues. So let's see what we have. We have this super system that I have created with this super table. It has a service ID, the customer ID, the date that was recording and the date service, and if it is in warranty or not. They're giving some freebies to their customers. So we're keeping the service ID and the customer ID there, but normally we're salespeople. We don't want to see the salespeople. They don't want to see the customer ID. They want to know the customer name. Who was the customer that asked for something? So we will have to be a bit more intuitive in this case. So let's create a new service request. We're going to start from the service request. It's already there. So which is that? Which is an item is created. So when an item is created where? When an item is created on a specific table, and this is the table of service requests. In our database, there is a second thing that we need to get the customer name. So how we're going to do that? We're going to connect to the table name, and from the service request table, we're going to say that the row ID, the identifier of the table, is the customer ID column on the service requests field, and then we're going to create an item. So when we're creating the item, we're going to fill in only the fields that we need. So it's the company name, the date recording, the service ID. We suppose that every time that we have a date serviced, the service item or the service task is closed. So we see that we have the service request, and we can also connect that in our team side. So we can go to list and say, look, I'm going to get a list that is already created. So add an existing list, and we're going to take the service requests, and we may see them here. So every time somehow a service request is recorded in our system, we will know it here in the sales area. So now that we have the system in place, they come and say, okay, what about the technicians? Are we going to leave them out of it? So let's go. We need to create something for them, and that means that we're going to go full round around. So let's see how we're going to address this request too. Now they want us to go the extra mile, the extra step, to make it a bit more intuitive. All right, let's create an app. So we're going to create an app which are going to be offered to our technicians that's servicing the fridges of our super company. So by starting from the list, it will create us an power up but it will have everything in. We'll be able to search for service requests. We're going to be able to look at the service request in details, and then we will be able to edit one. So let's create also a flow, because one of the things is that we're going to save something in the SharePoint list, but we need also to propagate that to our back office system, which is on a SQL database. So we're looking at something that says that when I'm saving something on SharePoint, I want to update something in SQL Server, which means that on the left side, we will start with SharePoint, and on the right side, we will end up with SQL Server, and this is what we're looking here. When an existing list item is updated, do it in SharePoint, it will pick up when it knows where's the connection. The last one we used was SQL Server, this Northwind database that we're using for this demo. And this is very simple now. So what we need here, we need to have the list name, first of all. So the list name is service request. So it needs to know the list name. So we'll enter a custom value and move forward with that. We're going to use the title of the list here. Here we see that we have the connection of, yeah, we need to change that. And here we see that we have the connection already in place. Then we're going to pick the table name are the service requests. The row ID is the identifier of the service requests. So we'll put here the column from the SharePoint list that does that. Oh, I have selected the wrong side on top. Let's select the correct one, which is the power hour. Well, initially I didn't select any side, just started writing. So now, immediately I have a dynamic content. Here in the dynamic content, you can see all the fields of the list, even the ones that are hidden or the ones that are not presented to the users. Everything is available to us when we're doing an automation. Normally, when we know what we're looking for, it's better for us to start typing in the search field, so we'll pick up the field faster. So this is the service ID that we have in the SharePoint list, and this is the one that will be used in the where clause. So we want to update only the date serviced, and that is fine. It's going to update only the date service. Let's save it, because now it's time for us to test it. We don't want to change the warranty. You see you have all the fields here of the table available to update them. So we're saving, we're giving also a minimum full name. As we said, we have a lot of automations. It is nice to have descriptive names that help us to identify what its different automation does for us. So let's say update database service request when the request is fulfilled. And for us, the clause for fulfilling a request is that it has a date service, at least in our system. So let's go back. The application is already deployed on my test device, so you can see the service requests here. And the date service is empty, so let's edit the service date. We're going to set the service date and click OK to save it. It may take some time to save depending on the network, depending on the connections, it may take some time to save and the load that we have to save the actual item. The item is saved. So we see that the date service is yesterday. So let's go to the SQL Server and see if it's filled in. So yes, we managed to tick this box too. We have updated the system behind the scenes. So, takeaways. So some basic things. Remember, the users do not care about the acronym, do not care about the technology. They care about the results. They care if they can work with something. It's better sometimes to give them something which is a prototype or a low fidelity thing and let them use it, and then have meetings with them, asking them what they like, what they didn't like. They're going to use it, so they're going to drive us towards what they need. we need also to drive them towards what we can produce based on what we have on our infrastructure, what we have with our what we can do with our resources. It's good to remember that we cannot replace the developers. Developers cannot be replaced. We can just help with all these solutions to have a better adoption. Developers are going to make the systems more intuitive. They're going to give them automations that we cannot provide. So they're going to do this last mile. And of course, we cannot replace the IT professionals because they're going to be responsible to keep all that stuff secure and running. That was all from me from Cologne. This was Elias Markelis. Thank you very much. Σας ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ. You can catch me in the forums and later, or you can send me a message if you have any questions. Bye bye.